Can teens really decode time travel? In this final part, Maryam explores wild theories, big questions, and how daring ideas shape the future.
You are exploring the observatory time travel theory. Talking about
Okay.
time travel, even I am fascinated about time travel. What what if we can go into the future? What was your interest? What sparked your curiosity about time travel?
Okay. So I always watched, if you know Doctor Who, I've been watching Doctor Who since I was 6 years old. And I just was always obsessed with time. During quarantine in seventh grade, I started looking into astrophysics. And for a while, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. So I looked about how the main thing in my theory is that it's called observatory time travel. So it's all about not actually time traveling because I don't think it's possible. Because even if we somehow were able to replicate the same circumstances, it will only be a copy of said event, not the actual one. But however, I think if we are controversial enough, we might embark on this journey that might lead us to looking into past time events without traveling there. So it's observatory time travel. So my main idea was that if we could observe stars, they're very far and they've traveled for millions of light years. And from our point of view, we can see that star right now. It's there. But let's say there is another being near that star. We both observe different versions of the same star. They observe the present of the star because they're very near to it. They're observing what's going on right now. But what we observe on Earth is what was transmitted to us through light millions of light years ago because it took it so much time to pass.
Mind
So,
boggling.
yes, and that's the whole premise of the theory. They are interconnected. It's also being carried through this vessel called light. What if light is the thing that is transmitting time? And for example, when you look at a black hole, you could see like that the ends of the black hole, the light is very distorted. And not only is the light distorted, but also time is being distorted. So as I said, I didn't really do deep research, but from my understanding is that we could observe distortions in time through light. That might be wrong, but from what I've understood online. And that's the premise. If we could manipulate light in certain ways, could we extract the past information that it has carried? So if we were able to understand exactly how time is being sent through the universe, through light, and light has a direction. So what if time has a direction?
Oh.
What if we could reverse that direction? And another thing is I started exploring with like time layers. What if time is not linear? What if it's about interconnected layers? Because if you think about it, maybe this is kind of false, but when back to that observation of the star, we are observing the star right now with a current state that was transmitted to us 100 million years ago. We exist right now. And that very same person that's next to the star that is observing its current state exists right now. So what if there are multiple layers of time and it's us that moves through them? It's not time that moves. What if us move through those layers? And that's like the main
Amazing.
idea.
Maryam, you are amazing. The amount of description you are giving is boggling my mind.
And what I'm thinking about is what if we could create this device that is able to kind of detect the patterns in light? Because we all know that when light bounces to something, it reflects off. Okay, so if we could understand exactly how that carrying of information is happening and how it's being decoded, then what if we could trace back and trace what it was carrying and hence reconstructing images of the past and hence observing time travel. We're not traveling in time, we're observing it. Just like how we're observing the star.
Have you been able to find a collaborator, somebody who is similar minded, who is fascinated by time?
For now, I'm like focusing on my Alzheimer's detection device because I aim to go into like a science fair next year. So it's kind of like cramming time, but definitely I I would like explore it more. I want to like dive deeper. What if we maybe it exists? As I said, I'm not an expert in astrophysics, but what if we could find a certain formula or equation that we are able to calculate the distortion of time and hence what time layer that section of the universe belongs to? Or what if time behaves differently in different parts of the universe, that it's each part a different layer?
And if you find such a device, promise me you will contact me. I also want to see the slices of time.
It will be very fun. And this also ties back to the memory scanner. Because like they were able to construct their memories from the past. So why construct it from the memory? Why don't we do it in real life?
True. And when you are dissecting it, you are presenting it, it seems very much possible. And it seems like you have so many things already sorted out. Whenever you have time, you should definitely pursue it. And it's very little quantity of people are actually thinking even about it, because mostly people, they believe time is linear.
I think time is like made up of layers. It's us that's going through the layers. So each layer exists simultaneously, but it's only us that move through it. I just hope it would be scientifically validated and maybe it could lead to something.
And you know the path. You can contact some professor, you can share your details. Probably, I think you know more. You are still 15, 17. You have plenty of time to figure it out. By then, AI, then there's deep research. You can use AI tools. You will definitely figure out something.
Thank you so much. Oh, I wanted to say something. Well, this actually has also like inspired me to write a story, a sci-fi book, a sci-fi novel, because writing has been like my oldest passion, like a creative outlet. My story is about how time interplays into the human experience and how our perception of time affects our experience as humans. And it also has like philosophical themes like morality, and I'm looking forward.
Coming to our next question, you are a leader of Toki STEM board. And what I read is you have impacted over 500 students. I don't doubt it now. But what's the one moment that made you feel about the impact of leadership?
I have many memories, but the biggest one would be, as I said, people at the beginning were very hesitant to join the club. Why should we join it? Why do we need STEM? And what I did was I kept on pushing through. And I think something that's a bit underrated, when you treat people in a very soft and kind way, they actually become more respectful and kind towards you. So if I had STEM club members that are very reluctant and they're like introverted, they're not participating in anything, they're just attending the meetings and staring at the ceiling, what I would do is I will go speak up to them, offer them something to eat, and I feel this is just very effective, and treat people nicely. And this is something that I've always implemented like in my leadership. If someone is hating on my STEM club, or if someone is not participating properly, instead of just they don't deserve us, they're losers, I would go up to them. I'm like, hey, is everything okay? How can I help? I would always ask, is there something wrong with the club? Don't you feel included? How can I make this environment more comfortable for you? And that eventually led to the club having a very supportive, family like environment. We would always go on trips together, we would check up on each other. And this has shown when people at the beginning of the year were just stubborn. At the end of the year, they were starting to loosen up a bit, smile more, participate more. And I feel like the word has spread that we're like a very supportive environment. And that's the most important thing. The STEM club is continuing to thrive, and the presidents, they still appreciate me and check up on me. It's because of that positive environment I was able to foster.
You're a great leader, Maryam.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, you inspire me so much.
Okay, one of my life's biggest plot twists. At the beginning, actually, I did not think that we needed funding. Uh, we tried securing rooms, but it was not working out. We needed to get a STEM club. And this was a huge step because not only were we the first STEM initiative at our school, but also there were no rooms for any clubs whatsoever. It just seemed so out of reach. What I did was think strategically because I have a short amount of time and I just wanted to get things done quickly. Because I wanted to start our mentorship program. And some of our students did not have access to computers. How would I expect them to participate in science fairs? And this, as I said, many people were very reluctant and insecure. They didn't feel confident enough. So I thought if we all worked in one room, it would be an amazing environment. So what I did was I went ahead and I started thinking about what the school's administration thinks. Okay, as Maryam, yes, I want the STEM room because I want my club to work and I want to do fun stuff in it. And I want to skip classes. But what does the school administration care about? Why would they care about it? That's just extra expenses. I told them, you know what? You need the STEM club. You need us. And that's like flipping the table, like flipping the argument. And I told them, you do not have a STEM lab right now. If you build this, if you execute this, you will gain a competitive edge. You're a public school. You're not massively funded. So people will be very, very impressed by functional STEM lab. You would attract smart and driven students. And I told them, not only will it increase your prestige in the eye of the local community and the neighborhood, but also international, possibly. I told them, what if you win awards? Won't that be great? Don't you want to be an internationally recognized school? Think of the amount. You could secure funding just through that STEM lab. And another thing I did was I proved to them that we are on the right path. We qualified for a very competitive regional science fair with our detection device, and we won an international award, top 2% in Europe. So what if you give us the STEM lab? Imagine the amount of possibilities that would happen. And they did.
Cool. So you flipped the script. You told them what is in it for you.
Yes. That's how you get people convinced.
We are doing you a favor.
Yes. And it worked really well on them. So
brilliant.
Thank you so much.
I just want to ask a question. There are so many students who are good, but they're introverts. What's your suggestion for introverts? Because spend their time in school being nobodies, nothing changes. They go to college, they become nobodies. Not even the teacher recognizes them. They don't get any recommendation letters, and they don't realize the damage that they are doing to themselves. And when they enter the job market, also, even if they know everything, even if they are the smart people, they are unrewarded geniuses. So, any idea for the schools, high school children who are about to set foot in the college, but they still consider themselves safe as being an introvert?
I am actually an introvert. I am not very extroverted normally, but I think what really helped me, especially like during middle school, primary school, I was a nobody. And even at my new school now, I haven't made much friends. Maybe some of my classmates would consider me an introvert right now. But I think what helped, and the thing is, I feel like being an introvert looks different for everyone. Maybe I think the best solution would be like finding why they're introverted. Don't do so. What are they insecure about a certain aspect? Do they feel that they're not knowledgeable enough to speak, or Are they afraid? Because this was, for example, my personal issue. I was afraid of judgment from people. So I'd say, oh, if I say nothing, I won't get judged. Well, I think I figured out what was wrong with me. I do not want to receive like negative judgment. So what I did was I started out with people I loved and knew would not judge me. I started out with my favorite teachers. I tried to kind of start patiently and slowly with myself. No rush. Don't rush yourself. It's not going to work. I started with my favorite teachers. Hey, I have this idea. What do you think? I started with my best friends. Just define the underlying issue. What is wrong? And try to fix it. Maybe if they're not confident enough, maybe they could watch videos that could help them. Or they could, for example, read more books if they feel that their conversations are boring, so people won't listen. There's a lot of solutions, but definitely step out of your comfort zone. It's not worth it in the long run. Even as you said, it could be the brightest mind out there. But if you do not market yourself properly, you're not getting anywhere.
You have moved across many countries and you have adapted. How has that experience shaped your leadership style?
Okay, my leadership style is definitely trying. I feel like as a leader, I'll be honest, I've been very tempted to like go full on and be like very aggressive with my policies and just kind of get the most I can get out of a project. I'm not an inherently bad person or a greedy person, but when you are in a new position and you just find a lot of freedom in your hand, I was responsible for the club, I could do whatever I want. It definitely does tempt to kind of go and try to get the most amount of benefit from that thing. And because I move countries, I know I'm not going to last long. So I try as much as I can to stop myself from pursuing short term benefits for me. Okay? I could go all over the club, yell at everyone, make them work very hard, be this very like mean, narcissistic leader, and put my picture on the STEM lab's door, put my picture everywhere, and make them like sing for me every day. But that's not gonna work. Yes, it's gonna bring me short-term happiness and dopamine. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so cool, I'm the leader. But in the long run, when I leave, none of them would probably care about me because that's not wrong. That's so wrong. So what I'm thinking about is always the long term because I want to like create things that will last. So how can I maximize this club's impact? And as I said earlier, be kind, be nice, talk with people. I think a very good skill asset that I have is empathy and like sympathizing with people. I really love putting myself in other people's shoes and trying to understand what they're going through. And that has helped me a lot because even after I left, some of my friends contact me, still in contact with them, and they all be like, oh yeah, we talked about you in class today and we mentioned how much of a good person you were. And I'm like, girl, don't make me blush. It's just so nice to see people appreciate your works and effort. And this has been my number one leadership.
Leave an impression.
Yes, definitely. A good, long lasting impression.
True. We can learn a lot from your leadership style. We read it in books, but you are actually implementing it.
Thank you so much.
I also read that you are a Histolab global winner and a top finalist. For our viewers, will you say like what Histolab global winner means and what a top finalist means and how can other kids who are in your similar path apply for it?
Histolab Global Award winner was this international competition, Council of Education. It was specifically focused on history innovation in history education. And it was you had to create a project. My favorite thing to do, create a project about how we could drive innovation in history. And I said, what is the most pressing issue that I would want to innovate and I would want to change? And the answer was marginalized groups, marginalized narratives. I want to see more women. If we do not represent enough females in history, young girls might start to be discouraged, and leadership and strength and bravery will start being associated with men. because this is what we're constantly seeing. I could change that. And fun fact, I submitted before the deadline. I proposed solutions. So I ranked in the top 2% of submissions across Europe, and I was the only solo winner. I was actually so hated by my math teacher to establishing a STEM club and winning an international award in the first year. So that was my first award. Just look for essay-based or project-based competitions. Easiest thing I do, I ask ChatGPT. Saved me a lot of time. Definitely do it. Competitions for high schoolers. Top, on the other hand, it's an entrepreneurship competition, and they're different fields. I don't know about the other ones, but the thing that I submitted with the biology and medical device field or sub competition. As I said, we got rejected by the science fair, and then we had to go through this whole new process of doing a new new updates to the research. And I remember telling my teacher are we gonna get it? And she's like, you know what, Maryam, let me be honest with you, we're probably not gonna get it. We have no resources, we have no mentorship, we have nothing. It's just all scrambles on paper. But she's like, at least we tried. And I find our name written in bold, and it was just the best feeling ever. But it was also quite competitive. And my main advice would be, do not miss competitions. If you can enter one, just enter. It does not need to be the perfect one, because if I would be honest, I was not satisfied with both competitions. But just do it, because you never know. Maybe the judges maybe other projects are worse. So just do it.
Based on your experience, what's the piece of advice that you would give to teens who are just starting their STEM journey and feel overwhelmed? Because I see you are in astrophysics, you are in bioengineering, you are a neuroscientist, you're in history also, and you're in math also, and you're barely 16 plus.
Yeah. I think that being overwhelmed is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It shows that you care. It shows a sense of responsibility, because you would rather be overwhelmed than have no sense of responsibility towards your future. So you are good, you are on track, and it just shows that you're very emotional and very driven. This is a sign that you're getting somewhere. And remember, everyone started at a certain point. We all started at zero. It's okay. What I would do is just break down the steps. Why am I overwhelmed? I can't find competitions. I don't have any awards. Okay, go ahead, list 3 competitions, or even 1. I would say even 1 at the beginning. Submit to it. Stick to it. Do your project so hard and so good, and submit. That's it. Okay. What other aspects? My academics, for example. Try to get help, try to get tutoring, try to look at resources online, especially as someone that switched school systems. When I went to Turkey at the beginning, I actually failed. I don't know the language, I don't know the system, and I completely failed. And that was very heartbreaking. I was overwhelmed. I'm gonna do this, but essentially through breaking steps down. Okay, I tackled math. You know, when did I actually started getting good grades and was able to tackle the Turkish language? Do not figure everything out on the first day. Do not expect yourself to have everything planned on the first day. This is the biggest scam. So put that pen and paper down. Do not plan things just yet. I always love to leave a window for unexpected opportunities. I'm still overwhelmed, but it's just a matter of being patient. Be very patient with yourself. I had to wait for 5 years to get my GPA back on track. From my GPA was a 98, and then it dropped to 0. And then 60, 70, 80 until I eventually was able to level it up. So just be patient with yourself.
You have a very polished English language also.
Yeah, I studied English for the first 5 years of my life, and then I did Turkish for the next 5 years of my life. Yeah.
So now this time for our rapid fire round. In rapid fire round, no thinking. Whatever comes to your mind first, you just answer. A scientist that inspires you the most.
I'd probably say George Yancopoulos. I don't know his last name, but he's the one in charge of ISA and Regeneron. And he just inspired me so much because how is he able to be such an exceptional scientist and at the same time organize like the world's like biggest science fair? That's like amazing. He's such an amazing person. And I hope just to reach like a quarter of his success when I grow up.
One person who is greatly influencing you.
I'd probably say my parents. They're like very resilient and I feel they taught me a lot.
If you could have any AI superpower, what would it be?
It would definitely be researching stuff because extracting information manually as humans could be very exhausting and draining. So I would definitely want to just rapidly just collect information from around the internet. It would save me a lot of time.
Now, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
If I had all the money in the world, I would spend it definitely on making healthcare accessible.
And if you knew that you could not fail, what's the one thing that you would do?
I have no idea. Cannot fail, won't fail.
Yeah.
I think I might pick making access to good resources and education more equal, or like to good life chances more equal. So
You're a very good human being, Maryam.
thank
And
you.
it's a brilliant one too. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing your study, your curiosity, and your brilliance with us. You have inspired me. I am sure you have inspired the viewers also. Thank you so much.
Miriam reminds us curiosity has no age limit. Keep exploring bold ideas and meet more change makers with Dreemen. Thank you, see you next time, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.